everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I wanted to update you on a conversation I had today with a social worker. I think I'd done some videos before where I talked about a conversation I'd had some while back about whether or not I could use my direct payments on employing a cleaner to help me clean. Or rather to clean for me, I should say. Anyway, he got back to me because he'd been speaking to the council and the people who make these decisions, and he got back to me and he said that no, that would not be possible. The reason being is that in the Care Act, the emphasis is on helping a person to achieve independence via a support worker. I was not going to take this, and indeed I did not take it. I went at him like a hammer. I did feel indeed very angry, and I think this kind of spurred me on to almost come at it from a very philosophical position. I rammed at it, I went at it fast, man. I really went at it fast. Riding on adrenaline. I kept myself together, I didn't completely lose the plot. I was feeling very angry, and as a consequence, a torrent of words came out of my mouth, and I really did ram it home. The absolute absurdities and contradictions underpinning this decision. One of the main arguments employed is that under the Care Act, councils provide support workers, or rather they don't directly provide support workers. The idea now is that through direct payments, which in theory are supposed to give the person in receipt of the direct payments more control, autonomy and flexibility, as opposed to top-down, bureaucratic, we know what's best decisions. The theory is that now the recipient of direct payments has choice and control. Right, that's the theory. But there's a catch. You very quickly find out that it's all built on sand. That there is no that basically it's a lie. You find this out quite soon. So if we take choice, you might be thinking, well, that means great. I can now choose to employ a service that I see as fit to meet my needs. Those needs are outlined in the care plan. So one of my needs is that I really struggle with cleaning. So I might think, okay, I really struggle with cleaning. That's in my care plan. And I know, expressing my choice and personal autonomy, they love that word, I know that I can use this in my best interests, and that might mean employing a cleaner, because that would get the job done a lot quicker than, say, having a support worker essentially get me to do it without actually doing anything themselves. Because in my case, the issue is not that I don't have the skills to do it, because I suppose if you didn't have the skills, then having a support worker next to you might be needed so that they can help you know what to do. But for me, it's got nothing to do with skills. I know what to do. It's got everything to do with executive functioning. So if I have a support worker alongside of me, I'm still doing the activity, going at an absolute snail's pace. And what's the point of having them there when I know what to do, but the issue is initiation and motivation? So it is far better in my needs to employ a cleaner. It will be a lot quicker, it'll get the job done, it will be less draining on my resources, on my energy, it would enable me to be productive in other ways, it would facilitate productivity, it would facilitate independence. So I said all of these things to him. a lot more well, I was getting quite angry basically, so it did come out quite pressured. But yeah, I said more or less those things to him. I said, that's my independence. I said, I'm expressing my independence. He did give me some lip about, this whole independent stuff. And I said, oh, don't give me that spiel. I said, I'm a 35-year-old woman. I said, I know what I need to stay well. I said, that is me expressing my independence. I'm telling you what I need, I said. God, I was assertive today, man. I was assertive. Where it comes from, I do not know. Inner feminist came out. I was not kicking no shit. No, sir. So yes, it did all come out. I said, this is like going back to the workhouse, I said. This is thoroughly Victorian. I said, do not patronise me. I'm not going to be spoken to like a child, and I'm not going to be degraded. I said, I've had enough of people degrading me. I'm not a criminal. I merely happen to be a disabled person who has autism, and I need someone to do the cleaning for me, I said. Oh, and by the way, when I mentioned deficits, you know what? It is thoroughly predictable. He then mentioned the strengths-based assessments. Oh yes, it came up. The strengths-based assessments. I've heard of them before at the Awesome Planning group I go to. Everything nowadays is strengths-based. We mustn't talk about deficits. Oh, God, no. That is an absolute sin. So yes, it's all strengths-based. And he said, we all have strengths, because I think, he saw me talking about deficits as, oh no, we mustn't go down that path. We must remind her of strengths. So yes. So you know what I said? Great witticism, just came out like that. I don't know where it came from. I said, I do have strengths. You don't need to tell me about my strengths. I'm thoroughly aware I have strengths. In fact, one of my strengths happens to be self-advocacy, which is what I'm doing right now, telling you what I need as an independent woman, I said. I don't know what he had to say to that, because there was a silence. It almost feels a little bit like out of some Kafka novel, where it's kind of, you're in this really absurd situation, where it feels like you're the only sane person in the room, because I am thoroughly sane, I am, I know what I need. I told him, I said, I know what's right for me, I said. So it feels like you're the only sane person in the room, kind of screaming into an existential void of absurdity and insanity, where you're faced with a mindless zombie just repeating orders from the council. Oh, it's the Care Act. It's, we have certain policies and rules about how this money is supposed to be spent. Yes, in theory you have choice, but then there are certain, rules and regulations and all that shit, Yeah, I actually said to him, I said, this is thoroughly Roman. Because it's thoroughly Roman. And by the way, there's nothing in the Care Act that stipulates that someone cannot use it on a cleaner. I actually said that to him. He agreed, because there's nothing in the law. It's all to do with the way councils, in a very Roman, bureaucratic, rigid way, note, no flexibility. Cross that one out. Apparently there is flexibility. No. Do not be mistaken. This is already in double speak. It does not mean what you think it means. It's divergent English. I thought I understood what flexibility means. No. Apparently it means something completely different. They're not going to be flexible. They don't give a shit about your needs. All they care about is following the rigid rules which they make up as they go along, because there is actually nothing in the Care Act which says you cannot spend it on a personal cleaner. No. By the way, my mission is now to exploit them loopholes. I'm on a crusade. I'm a lawyer representing myself. I did say to him, by the way, that the meeting ended on me actually exiting the conversation, because I was that close to completely melting down, because I was getting quite angry. I left on my terms. Oh yes, it was all completely on my terms. No one's bossing me around. I've had enough of that. I said to him, I am contacting the advocacy service. And that's what I did straight away after that. I contacted the advocacy service, I emailed them. So now I'm on their, hopefully soon I'll get a response from them so I can be put on their waiting list. I CC'd him into the email, so he would have got that. So advocacy service is basically, there's an advocacy service in my local area. A local charity has an advocacy service that helps disabled people advocate for their needs. So that'll give me a bit more clout. So I'm getting in contact with them. I am not backing down. Oh no, you do not mess with an autistic feminist who has her teeth on the bone and knows her facts. That's a fact. You do not do that. No. If they think they can mess with me, they've got another thing coming. Seriously. So it was a very stressful meeting, but I did feel quite empowered because I did state my mind. I went at it like a hammer. I was assertive as fuck. I did not let him walk all over me. I stood on my own 2 feet. That is independence, is it not? That is independence. Take that, you council bureaucrats. That is independence. Moving over to video number 2 now, just to carry on this little tirade. I need to get it off my chest. So moving over to video number 2 now.